Oh, hello. Welcome in, fam. Welcome to YouTube. Hello. Hello. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. We have the second edition of the Fantasy Hockey Draft live stream going on. If you missed the first one, in the pinned comment, that's the video number one. You can go ahead and check that one out. That was the keeper league that I was in. This one is second home league that I got with the boys. And this is a non-keeper league 12-team category head-to-head. So, we're going to see this from the beginning. Okay? I'm excited about this. I'm excited to everybody who checked out the first video. Thank you. Round of applause if you haven't. If you have not, why don't you go ahead and watch that. You can watch this one here. If you are brand new to the YouTube channel, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Hit the sub button, ring the bell. Thank you. And yeah, we're gonna get going on the second one here. We're gonna have a good time tonight, are we? I'm ready. I got my coffee. I've studied up on this draft here. I'm excited. Let me pull up the big screen here. We have the 9th overall pick in the draft. My team's Malkin in the middle. Get it? Yeah, I know. I'm excited about that one too. All right. So we get the 9th overall pick here. The categories in this league are goals, assists, power play points, shots on goals, and hits. Goalie categories: wins, goals against average, saves, shutout. Okay. Now, a couple things here. If you still have a draft going on, I know the season starts Tuesday. We are Monday. I know it starts Tuesday. You still have time. Don't worry about that. You head over to thefantasyalarm.com, get yourself a copy of the draft guide. You're welcome. I put that together with obviously my boy Andrew Dewhurst. We work hard for it. You get access to the Discord, the season-long DFS as well Discord. You can ask us all the questions you want. We can help you build those lineups. You play over on FanDuel, DraftKings, SuperDraft, Underdog, Yahoo, wherever you are, we can help you build the lineups that you need. If you have season-long questions as well, I just put up the first edition of the injury report for the year. That's also up for subscribers. You can go ahead. You can check that out. Yeah. Make sure you go ahead to that fantasyalarm.com/NHL. All right. I said this is the last time. I'm going to say it again. Okay. Before you get to your draft, I've done this, right? I know I've prepped, so I'm in no need. If you are not, because I know there's a lot of newbies in this league that we're in now. We've got all the way up to 12. Some repeats from the last draft. But make sure you understand your league settings, okay? And make sure you adapt to them. Now, do I like a league that counts hits that doesn't count block shots? No. Do I like a league that counts goals against and goals against average and just doesn't count save percentage? No. But I'm okay with it, right? You remember in the last draft that we had, it was counted plus minus. I hate the stat, right? But I'm not going to deter myself and say I don't care, right? You can just forget about the stat or play it however you want to play it, okay? Make sure you understand the settings. Make sure you understand what you're going through here, okay? There's a lot of things happening in this draft. Now, remember as well, when you go into this, everybody's got a plan, okay? But you got to have a couple of plans in place here. Don't walk in here saying, oh, I'm going to draft this type, centers early, wingers early, goalies late. Or like, go with the flow of your draft, okay? Go with the flow. Be ready to pivot at any given moment, okay? And especially when you do it late as well, my third point, make sure you're aware of some of the players who are making rosters and which ones that are not. Okay, you got to keep up with that stuff. Now is the time, man. If you are looking for something to help you, okay, you head over to dailyfaceoff.com. Daily Faceoff has everything you need. Fantasy DFS, hashtag not an ad, hashtag Daily Faceoff. This could be an ad. Could be, okay? Obviously, they got the tabs for the starting goalies, so you can see the starting goalies every day. The ones who are confirmed, unconfirmed, who they have as a start. Obviously, the line combination is what you're looking for. So if you're looking for any types of line combinations, Daily Faceoff does it as well. Left wing lock as well. Shout out to them. They do a lot of good stuff. I just prefer Daily Faceoff. That's it. The information is up to date. I'll cross with both, by the way. So make sure you go ahead and you do that. But you're looking for that value late in drafts, right? You need the value late. Find value anywhere you can in the draft, all right? Make sure you go ahead that. Make sure right now we have projected stats that are up. This is what Yahoo uses based on the settings that we've put. You can put in the old ones as well from stats from 2020, 2021. Usually that's not where I go with this. I'm not worried about that kind of stuff. I'll look at the projected and see what they run. But remember, these are projected stats, okay? There's a lot of flaws in projections, right? We don't know where they're going in. A couple things as well. As you remember, the last draft that I did, I had the first overall pick, which means I have the tail pick, right? You go through most of the first round, you get the early one, and then you got to wait a bunch. I personally like drafting late here, and I'll tell you why. I like having on the turn in the second round an earlier pick. I like the close 1-2 picks because it allows me to implement certain strategies that I want to use or allows me to dictate the pace of what's going to happen. Your first 5 picks are going to be about the same 5 picks you usually see, okay? There's no surprise there. Your first 5 picks are your first 5 picks. A lot of the same players go in that spot. Now we're going to see what's going on elsewhere. There are no points in this league as well. It's about winning categories. You may play in a head-to-head points leagues where you get points based on what players do. Traditionally, you'll see, let's say, 2 points for a goal, 1 point for an assist, half a point for a shot, yada, 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 yada. All that kind of fun information. Don't worry about that. In this one, it's just categories. The goal is to win as many categories as humanly possible, which are 10. Now, a lot of times we get confused thinking we have to win all 10. You don't have to win all 10. Okay? You don't have to win all 10. Remember that. You got to win a couple. Grinch, hello. Good luck. I hope you do well. But you are not going to get any information from me. I'm still not worried, though. Remember, focus on your draft. Walk in with your strategies. Know what you're doing. You're going to be fine. Or at least that's how I feel. At least that's how I do it in life. I'm set. I'm ready, baby. Let's go. I got to wait 5 minutes so I can make a pick. I don't know what the clock is here. If you are a commissioner setting up a league, if you have the option to run a 45-second clock, that's what you should be running. Nothing more. 90 seconds is too long. 90 seconds is too long. I'm probably going to use a lot of that time to start off just so I can give you kind of the back knowledge of what I'm trying to do with the pick that I make. But 45 seconds is more than enough here. Right? We don't need this to be that long. That's what she said, right? That's what she said. All right. I'm set here. I'm ready. There's a lot of good players here. Again, like I said, your earlier picks are, it's kind of hard to go wrong early in the draft. It's really, really hard. Just because it's so, I don't know. The best players are the best players. There's only a handful of elites. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I'm talking about elite players. Elite players. There's only a handful of them. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this draft works out for me. Know your position eligibility as well. In this league, I don't know if you can see, it's on the right side above my camera here. So 2 center, 2 left wing, 2 right wing. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 D, 2 goalies, and 1, 2, 3, 4 bench spots. So it's not a super deep league, right? 16 rounds is kind of what you'll traditionally see. If you remember the keeper one we did, that one had 20 rounds. There's 4 rounds less, so that means there's going to be a lot. There are going to be some players that are going to be available on the waiver wire. Very important to maximize that. Know as well your injury slots. So I know for this league, IR spots are there. They use IRs plus as well. Know the difference between both, right? IR players have to be on injury reserve, so by the team that they play on, for you to be able to put them on IR here. IR plus can be players who are just considered out for a game, who are day-to-day injury. You can stash them there for a little bit. Non-roster players as well. If your league has an NA spot for non-roster players, so players who are maybe not in the NHL, start their year in the AHL, you can still stash them and keep them. Where are you picking? I am picking from the 9 spot. I am the 9 spot in the draft to start. Everybody else here, 9 is not bad. The worst spot for me to pick is obviously the first. I hate the first spot. Even the second is kind of bad. I don't particularly enjoy 12 either because it's basically the opposite. without getting value, but I think I should be okay-ish. I think. We'll see how this goes. But I'm ready. I did a little bit more prep for this one, just because this was the first of the full ones that are non-keeper. I'm not too worried. I'll be able to 4 bench spots available. That's not bad. I'm going to put my team here so I can remember. Alrighty. Alright, so I'm interested to see where everybody goes in their earlier picks. If they go as I think they will, then they'll be exactly what they should be. Looks like pretty much everybody's turned out for this draft, which is good. So no auto picks, which means it's going to be a slow first round. Or at least slower towards the end. All right, I pull up my draft guide here. Just to make sure, just in case I need to reference it. All right, I got my scoring settings are up here as well. Always make sure your scoring settings are up to date. All right. Should I turn off stream? No. Not worried, Grinch, at all. I'm not worried at all. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm doing. I know how I want to do it. I got 2-3 strategies in the back of my mind. No worries that you're going to take any of my players. I just won't utilize the Q section, which I didn't last time. I already know where I'm going with most of what I need to do. So I'm in no panic of anybody stream sniping any of my picks. If anything, if you've done your research and you're on my wavelength, you'll just pick the same players that I want to pick anyways. So I'm not worried at all. All right, 10-second clock is here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a good one here. And I hope everybody in this league finishes second. Tied for second. All right. All right, so the first pick will be, as it should be, there should be no surprises here to anybody. Connor McDavid is your first overall pick, as always. Range, I think you're the second pick. Nathan McKinnon. No surprise there. That's how I thought it was going to go anyways. We did talk about it, too. You said that you wanted to hold Nate. Leon Draisaitl at 3. Again, as I expected, you could have taken 1-2. Draisaitl could have been a pick there. Nathan is a good pick. He does a lot of everything you want to do. I fully expect Nikita Kucherov to go here, barring a surprise. Barring a surprise. Andrei Vasilevsky at 4. That was my surprise. All right, we got our first early goalie off the board. That's kind of weird for Russ. Damn. Russ usually, if you remember Russ from our other league, he took Carey Price here. Austin Matthews at 5. Gotcha. All righty. I mean, we're just going to leave Mikko Rantanen at 6. Did Nikita Kucherov die this summer? Did something happen? Is he dead? What happened to Nikita? We're just going to let him drop here? Okay. He's not going to get to me. I know he won't. I know he won't get to me, unfortunately, and that's okay. Nikita Kucherov at 7. It's about time. All right. I'm excited to see. I expect David Pastrnak to be taken here. That's the player who I expect to be taken off the board. David Pastrnak is the player who's taken. All right. So I have a couple of decisions that I can make here. Different types of things that I want to do. Different types of things that I want to pace out for. In terms of looking, I think I can bet on goals here. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to surprise a little bit of the world right off the rip here, okay? Right off the rip, I'm going to maybe go a route that some people didn't think I was going to go. I'm going to take Cale Makar. Cale Makar is the best defenseman in the NHL right now. He can score goals. He can rack up assists. He can get power play points. And he shoots the puck on goal. So for me, I have the opportunity to take the best defenseman right up front. I'm going to go down that route early and lock up my best defenseman right there. I have an early pick in the second round so I can live with what I have. And the last draft that I did, I waited a little bit on defensemen. I didn't get what I want. I'm not worried about my defenseman hitting people. That's not something I'm worried about. Artemi Panarin goes 11, by the way. Alex Ovechkin, Mitch Marner at 12. No surprise. Now, if the player that I want to draft is there, I'll take him. If not, I'm going to go down another route. Brad Marchand at 13. No surprise there. I think that was kind of where it should have been anyways. Patrick Kane at 14. Very good pick. I expect Jonathan Huberdeau to go at 15 here. He is the best left winger in the NHL outside of Ovechkin. If they consider Ovi a left wing, they don't. Sebastian Aho, very good pick. All right. I'm going to go on another bender here. Kind of really throw the draft off a little bit. I think I can gain value later on in the draft. I really do. So I'm going to take the second best goalie available in this draft. Andrei Vasilevsky is the top goalie in the NHL. There's no question about that. And to me, Robin Leonard is the second one, and it's not even close. The Pacific Division is garbage. He has nobody to challenge him. The Vegas Golden Knights are going to be a very good team. They play Seattle tomorrow in their opener. Seattle is missing a whole bunch of players because of COVID. Leonard, they have him ticketed here at 35 wins. I think he can push 40 easy. So I'm going to take Robin Leonard. I'm going to also try to get the goalie run to start. And this is where I'm going to get value later on in the draft. If I can get somebody to start grabbing goalies early, we'll be fine. All right. So now I got to wait a little bit. Here's the thing. Then I go all the way down, and here we'll start to look at the different values and what I'm trying to get and where we're going and blah, da, 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 da. That's where I'm running. That's how I run my draft. I got, to me, in my mind, I got the best defenseman off the board early. Arguably to me. I know hits is a category. I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about hits. It is what it is. Since defensemen in this league, there are no block shots. I'm not worried about that category. I'm just going to draft the best player there. And Robin Leonard, to me, is a goalie I wanted, in other drafts that I didn't get. And I really think that this is his, it's his job. He could contend for a Vezina this year. Easy. On the team that he's on. Mika Zibanejad goes 17. Connor Hellebuck at 18. We've got the goalie run going. Let's go. I want to see where some of these people go with some of these picks. I want to see where they're running. Alexander Barkov at 19. Congratulations to Barkov and his new deal. Big bag of money for the Florida man. From my understanding, there are no state taxes in Florida, so the man's getting paid and he's going to keep a lot of it. Andrei Svechnikov at 20. Jonathan Huberdeau at 21. Dynamite value there. Dynamite value on Huberdeau. Dynamite. There's no reason he should be going 21. John Carlson at 22. Another very good pick. Another very, very good pick there. All right. Grinch, let's see where you go with this, okay? Was that yours? Braden Point. Darcy Kemper, very good. We got the goalie run starting here. Braden Point, very good pick. Good to add a center early to the team. Adam Fox, another very good pick. All right. I know where I want to go here with my pick. We'll see if I can get there or not. I should be okay here in what I'm trying to look for. Again, it's really, really hard to mess up early in the draft. Really, really hard. Alex DeBrincat at 26. Elias Patterson as well. Another great pick. I think a lot of people sleep on him just because they're not sure what's going on. We'll see if anybody follows suit here. Brady Tkachuk might drop a little bit. In a hits league, like, he throws his weight around. 338 hits. He doesn't really get a ton, but he shoots the puck and he hits a lot. So I think there's some value there for him. Not knowing what happens with his contract, but we'll see if anybody bites. Or if they let him slide a little bit. Going down the board here, not too much that I'm too worried about either. I think there's a lot of value in the draft left. A lot of good stuff there. Mark Scheifele at 28. Some choices are starting to be made. I like it. Did you like my pick? I loved it. I think you've started off well, Grinch. I'm not going to lie. There's nothing wrong with taking a Braden Point that's going to center the top line and probably play with Nikita Kucherov and probably Stamkos at some point when they file up a whole big line there. So nothing wrong with that. Victor Hedman at 29. Another good pick. Sidney Crosby at 30. That's an early pick considering some of the players still left on the board here, but we'll live with it, I guess. All right, I kind of know where I want to go with this. We'll see how we balance this out, but Kirill Kaprizov, that was another good pick. And Kirill might have a really big year this year. He was dynamite in his rookie year, and he could be dynamite again. Absolute lightning. All right, let's get this on the road so I can go with the next pick here. I know where I'm going, so I'm not particularly worried about it. Not particularly worried. Assuming I can get my player here. There we go. Igor Shesterkin, another goalie off the board. To me, it's really simple. Max Pacioretty is the player I want here. Max Pacioretty can score probably 35, 40 goals in a season. You know, he's going to be a streak player. Again, can we talk about how terrible the Pacific Division is for a moment? He's going to light it up. He's a player who shoots the puck a ton. Players who shoot the puck a ton usually tend to score goals, and players who play on good teams will generally do a lot of damage. So to me, Max Pacioretty is an easy pick here. Now I'm going to wait for the turn and see how I kind of want to run this. Matthew Tkachuk is taken there. Brady Tkachuk is going to slide a little bit here. That's kind of interesting. Gabriel Landeskog, another good pick there. There's a couple of things I might want to do here. I'm just not sure what route I'm going. John Tavares here, another good pick. Freddie Anderson at 37. Freddie Anderson is dog, so that's what it is there. Kyle Connor, great pick, by the way. Absolute dynamite pick. And Jake Gensel at 39. All right. Again, I know where I want to go with this. I'm just not sure how far down I want to roll off the board. If I want to add another forward to it or not. I got a moment here. I have some good choices on the board still. So we'll see where we run with that and whatnot. I'm going to go with probably the second best defenseman. I don't know if I want to go that route either. I might use up all 20 seconds here. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go with Aaron Ekblad at this spot. Aaron Ekblad, to me, is a player who's going to solidify that back end for the Florida Panthers. It was between him and probably Quinn Hughes. I like Quinn Hughes. I just don't know if Quinn Hughes has the value to get to where I need to be. So I'll take Aaron Ekblad here. The power play is going to be there. I think the shots are going to get there. Steven Stamkos was another consideration I was thinking about. Didn't happen per se, but, you know, we'll get to that point when we need it. Now I got to wait a little bit, come down here. I still think there's a ton of value, so I can kind of get away with whatever I'm looking for. So I should be okay there. I should be okay. Dougie Hamilton at 42. Excellent reach. Quinn Hughes at 43. He wasn't going to come back to me, so I'm okay with that. Just going down the list here, seeing where I can get away with what I'm looking for here. Alex Pietrangelo, another great pick. All right, I know where I'm going to go with my next two picks. It's probably going to surprise some people, but I kind of know where I want to go and what I'm trying to target here. I can kind of always go down the board, kind of take a look at what you can see in what round and where you can kind of get away with it. I think I know where I want to go and what I'm looking for here. All right, I'm set here. Marc-Andre Fleury afterwards as well. The goalies are starting to run. I've picked up a goalie, so I think I can live. My goal is to have 3 goalies. That's the value that I'm looking for here. Brady Tkachuk continues to drop. I like that. Ilya Samsonov, the goalie run is in full effect here. So as you can see, people are starting to reach. Mark Stone, another good pick here. Player that doesn't shoot the puck enough, but picks up points. He does all the things that you like a captain and a good player to do, right? He picks up points. He facilitates the play. Again, all things that you want to see your players do. All right, let's see what the turn here brings. Nikolai Ehlers is a good pick. Roman Josi at 49. Another good reach here. I'm watching some of the defensemen go up here. Watch my next pick. Okay, I'm watching. Stone was that one. I'm not mad at my Aaron Ekblad pick. I think that's a good one here. I have 1 elite forward. I have 2 elite defensemen. I got a powerhouse goalie. I think I'm in a good spot per se. Shea Theodore, another good defenseman. That's a good value pick, I'm not gonna lie. That's a defenseman I could see on my side of it as well. Shea Theodore is probably the better value instead of Alex Pietrangelo just because he shoots the puck more. He plays top power play minutes. It's kind of what you like to see in defensemen, right? Defensemen who hold high value. I know he's dealing with a small injury, but I'm not necessarily worried about his injury either. Matthew Barzal seems like a good pick there. Brady Tkachuk. I mean, it's only there's only so much of a discount you can take for one player before you say, fine, I'll do it. And that, I guess, is the maximum discount you can take. Brady Tkachuk just fills up with hits and block shots, man. So he throws his weight around. He shoots the puck a ton. Whether the points come or not, whether his contract gets figured out or not, there's no reason to be passing up that far. I wouldn't have let him go by again. That's what I would say. I wouldn't take him here at my spot, but if I got back to around the 60th pick, I wouldn't have let him drop that much. I don't think he's a top 2-round pick, even in a category league like this, but I would definitely not let him slide, you know, that far down either. You got to give him some value. Morgan Riley at 53 is an interesting pick, I guess. Semyon Varlamov at 54. There's still a bunch of goalies going off the board here, which I don't think is a terrible thing. All right. I think I know where I'm going with this pick here. Patrice Bergeron, 55. I mean, gifts are gifts, right? Do I really do I want to shock the world, or do I just want to like tickle their nose a little bit, you know? Like where am I like where am I going with this, you know? Man, I could really shake this up for me on this side here a little bit. I could do something. Let's see what Sailboat here does, and then we'll go from there. Ryan O'Reilly at 56 is a good one there. All right. I can do quite a few things here, per se. I'm going to take a defenseman here at this spot. I'm going to take Tyson Barrie. Tyson Barrie was the best defenseman in the NHL in terms of points, right? Playing with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl helps. So I'm going to add another top-tier defenseman who picks up power play points, who shoots the puck a ton. Tyson Barrie seems like the player I'd want to go with at this spot. Cam Talbot was who I was thinking of next, by the way. That was my debate, was between Tyson Barrie and Cam Talbot. So I got who I wanted. JT Miller here. That's a good one. Nothing wrong with that. All right. I know who the next pick is, and I'm going to go down the board a little bit here to get him. I'm going to go down the board a little bit here, and I'm going to kind of figure out what I need to figure out here. Johnny Gaudreau at 60. Good pick. Elias Sorokin at 61. There's still a lot of goalies here starting to pop up. We'll see how the board handles them. Some people might try to figure out their second goalie now, which wouldn't be too bad here. Brock Besser, another good winger. That's another good pick. Big body who can score goals. I like it. I like it. Some good stuff here, actually. All right, I need Cam to make his pick. Rupe Hintz. I know exactly where I'm going. I'm not going to wait too long to make the pick. The pick is Jacob Chychrun. I'm in love with Jacob Chychrun. I know that the Arizona Coyotes are a bad team. I also know that Jacob Chychrun does a lot. That's why I'm a little bit disappointed that block shots don't count in this league, because all he does is shoot the puck a ton and block a bunch of shots. That's all he does. Now, if he finishes with 47 points, I think for a team that he's on is what it is. But to me, Jacob Chychrun is a high-value pick here. I think he can push 40-plus points. And as my fourth defenseman, I think there's some value there. I think I've locked up the defense spot here. So I'm going to take Jacob Chychrun because if anything, like I said, he kind of solidifies. I've taken 4 defensemen who can shoot the puck a lot and collect points, right? I think there's a high upside for 50-plus points with my first 3 defensemen. And I know at the defense position, that's kind of, that's elite, right? My forwards picking up 50 points, not great. My defenseman getting to that number, that's something that I really like there. All right, so I figured out my defense. So, I mean, it's weird to have 4 defensemen in your first 6 picks. But I knew that's where I was looking for some value, and that's where I can collect some big points as well. So if I can get some forwards here to rack up some points, some, scoring by committee kind of thing for my offense, I'll be okay. Andre Pallot goes next. I think that's a good pick. I think I'm going to start to find some value picks here. And that's where I'm going to start to kind of try to solidify the position and, you know, the players that I have and what I can get out of it. Anze Kopitar at 66 is pretty good, yes. There's still a ton of value as you move down the board here. So I kind of like that a lot. So much value. Philip Grubauer at 67. Again, not a bad pick. Jack Campbell at 68. I probably would have flopped those picks. I think Philip Grubauer is going to have a hard time this year in Seattle. Seattle is just not... I just don't look at them as a very good team. I don't see a lot of greatness in their team, so it's kind of fine. Charlie McAvoy, another good pick there. UC Saros at 70. UC slipped a little bit here. Again, good goalie, just on a bad team. Good goalie, bad team. He should be able to do a lot more than what he's doing, but he's not it. And Coconut's back here. Tristan Jarry. Bold pick there, Grinch. Bold pick. I like it. That's back-to-back. That's, no, sorry. Saros, Jarry, Hurdle, Sam Reinhart. Thomas Hurdle kind of getting forgotten in it. Carey Price on the turn. Grinch, are you holding... You're holding. There are your two goalies. Got you. That's what I thought. All right. Carey Price there. Seth Jones. Carey Price, I guess, is just an interesting pick, right? You're not sure what's going to happen when he comes back, but you get him at a discount, I guess. Ish. He probably goes in the 4th round if he's in the lineup. I was honestly looking at Sam Reinhart there a little bit. Kind of didn't, it didn't get to where I wanted to. Unfortunate, but it happens. I'm good with it. I hope you're good with it. You picked him. I'm just not sure, like I said, when he's coming back, what's going to happen. Evgeny Kuznetsov at 76 is a good pick, I guess. Tyler Seguin as well. I need another goalie, so I could possibly figure that out, and I'd be okay with that. Miro Heiskanen, another great pick there. Spencer Knight, another good pick. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Spencer Knight. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Spencer Knight, man. I want him to play a lot, but I feel like he's just going to get buried behind Bobrovsky all night, and that's just unfortunate that it's going to be like that. I got the next pick here. So I got to start making some decisions as to where I want to go with who. Thatcher Demko at 80 kind of confirms what I was thinking. I'm going to take a goalie here just because I don't want to get caught without one. Linus Ullmark, you know, I don't want to go there. I know he was a little bit unsure. I wanted Thatcher Demko. That's the spot I was holding. Linus Ullmark could have a good season, but I'm just not sure what's kind of happening on that side yet. I don't want to own Jordan Binnington either. I could wait a little bit, kind of drop down. That's not where I want to go. I'm going to go a little bit to the left here. I'm going to take Nick Suzuki. I think there's some upside for Nick. I don't like having Nick Suzuki as my... It's kind of weird, right? Nick Suzuki, Pachuretti, the 1-for-1 deal there. Nick has dual position eligibility, which I think is important in most drafts. So I'll hold on to that a little bit. I know where I'll go with my next pick here. If I have to. Not too worried about that. I didn't want to hold there. Are shots on goal a stat? Yes, they are. Shots on goal to me are one of the most important stats that I worry about. How much is a player shooting? Right? In fantasy hockey, you need players to generate kind of offense, and you can't generate offense without shots. So if your player's not shooting the puck enough, it puts you kind of behind the 8 ball right off the bat, and I don't necessarily enjoy that. Jack Eichel at 82. Interesting. Peter Mrazek off the board again. Chris Letang, another good one here. TJ Oshie. I might want to drop down here a little bit. I know I'm digging way deep as to what I'm trying to look for here. There's a bunch of Kaapo Kakkonen is there. There's some different types of goalies here that you can draft. I think I know where I want to go with this, but kind of don't feel good about it, but we'll do it anyways. Kind of get this settled now, and we'll deal with it when we get there. I think there's some value to Jordan Binnington. Some goalies are going. I'm going to take Calvin Pettersson. I know that, you know, the LA Kings got better. I really do think the LA Kings got better. You know, adding Philip Deneau. I know Quentin Byfield's hurt, but you know, they've added Victor Arvidsson. I think defensively they're okay. Calvin Pettersson's a good goalie. He really is. And I think as long as Jonathan Quick doesn't get too many starts, again, the Pacific Division is really bad. So the LA Kings are going to have chances to do stuff. They're going to be a good team. They're going to compete. I'm more than comfortable with taking him here. Is it a little bit of a reach? Yes. But I'll reach for Calvin Pettersson here just because I want to lock up. That's the player I want to, like, that's the position I want to lock up. So I have my goaltending. I have my defense kind of sorted out. I got to kind of figure out my offense here and make sure I'm adding some high skill players. See what I kind of add there. As you can see, I've targeted 2 goalies from the Pacific Division. One on a really elite team, one goalie that should be okay. How good is Calvin Pettersson going to be? I need him to return top 15 value at that point. Considering some of the goalies I left on the board, Kevin Lankinen I don't think is it. Mackenzie Blackwood, who knows? Linus Ullmark, the same thing, right? If Tuukka Rask comes back and he backs up, how does that look? Right? Jake Allen, I don't want any part. Sergei Bobrovsky is a dumpster fire. Vincent Vanasek's a backup. Jeremy Swayman could actually lose his job. Alex Nedeljkovic is the only other goalie I thought of, but I don't like where Detroit is in that situation. So I didn't go there. Carter Hart would have been the only other consideration. I didn't like where that was either. So, and then I just went down the board and found what I needed to find. That's it. Darnell Nurse at 89, really good pick. It's a shame that block shots aren't there. Adds a lot of value to his team. Drew Doughty at 90. Okay. Nice to see Drew Doughty still alive here, boys. Nice to see he's still kicking the can. All right, we're halfway through the draft. The team looks pretty good. Now we got to find a whole bunch of offensive players. Now we got to look for players who can push 60 points. That's definitely what you're looking for. Players who can push 60. I don't know how many we'll find, but you know, we'll go from there. There's still one player on the board here that I kind of want to target. I don't know if he's going to drop to me at this position. It's unlikely that he does, but we'll see if he gets there. If he does, that would be a win on my end. That would be a win. Neil Pionk, excellent pick. Excellent pick. I like Neil Pionk. I think he's the top. I think he's the top defenseman for the Winnipeg Jets over Josh Morrissey. Cole Caulfield at 93 makes sense. Russ takes a hab. Only fitting. Vladimir Tarasenko at 94. Interesting to see what happens to Tarasenko and with his shoulder and what's happening and, you know, how he gets that to work and whatnot. But a player who can definitely pull back. Carter Hart here. So we still got some team. John Klingberg right before that. Another good pick. See if we can find some value. So a lot of people starting to dig some defensemen, starting to dig some goalies who they need. So we've kind of settled that debate. We figured that out. And we've gone, you know, we've gotten what we've needed to get here. So I'm not too worried about those positions anymore. See if we can round out the rest of our lineup. Jason Robertson is the player I was thinking of. I didn't think he was going to slip all the way down to me, by the way. Jason Robertson was the player I was thinking of, by the way. All right. Taylor Hall, 98. Good pick. Good pick there out of Taylor Hall. Jake Allen at 99 makes sense. Jake Allen could probably start for at least, you know, the first month and a half, I would say. I'd say even if Price were to come back after the 30 days, he'd probably need some time to, you know, get warmed up, some practices, maybe a conditioning stint in the AHL, kind of get warmed up and whatnot. So we'll see how that goes for him. I know a little bit what I want to do. I'm just not sure if I'm going to be able to get it done. But I think I might be able here. I think I might be able to get both players that I'm looking at. I really do. I think I can get both. And that would be huge for me here. Braden Shen, great pick, by the way. Pick 100. Man, Shen can play center. He can play the wing as well for St. Louis. Linus Ullmark, there's the one who goes away. I think I can get the player that I want here. Again, we got to target some players with some high upside, some high value. I'm trying to target the player who can upwards of 60 points. That's what I'm looking at here, upwards of 60. If I can get a bunch of players here with a 60-point potential, you know, pairing them with my defenseman that I have and my goaltending, I think I can win a lot of weeks. I really do. But I got to see how I get there. Like I said, there are some players here. Ryan Nugent Hopkins, man, what it like. I feel for the Nuge because he plays on such a good team. He just can't get his stuff going. Just can't get his stuff going. All right, not bad. Martin Nietzsche's great pick. I feel like everybody forgets that he plays hockey. It's kind of weird. Kind of weird, but it's fine. I expect this player to drop to me now, so I'm going to wait for Sailboat to go out here and not take my player. David Perron was a great pick. My player is Blake Wheeler. Blake Wheeler here has the upside here. The Winnipeg Jets are going to be a good team. He's still a top player. He plays the power play. He shoots the puck enough. He's going to play with, you know, he has center position eligibility, so he can play the right wing as well. Dual position eligibility is super important in fantasy hockey, at least for these with specific categories. We know he's going to facilitate the puck around. I think 47 assists. I think he can top 50 and top in, you know, 20 some odd goals. 70-point plus side is there. He does throw a little bit of weight. The shots on goal are not necessarily 200 like I would like it, but I think he can get enough done here. And playing with, you know, a really good Winnipeg team, I think he's okay. So I'll take Blake Wheeler at this spot. I don't think that's a reach for me at all. I think that's perfectly within what you need out of it. All right, now let me see if I can get my second player that I want here. But absolute dominance to be able to get Blake Wheeler at this spot for me. Absolute dominance. Alexander Radulov. If Radu can stay healthy, that's another really good pick. We'll see if that happens or not, though. Torrey Krug. I don't know how I feel about Torrey Krug, man. I feel like he let me down last season. Right now, I have both. Of the 3 forwards that I have, 2 of them are dual position eligibility on the right wing as well, which is kind of nice. Kind of easy to flip them out in and out of spots if you need to. So that's kind of nice. Kind of makes me happy there. Zach Werenski. My God, great pick. Absolute great pick. Defenseman with a bunch of high upside to score goals. I love it. Willie Nylander was the player I wanted. He did not slip to me. Willie Nylander is the player I wanted, by the way, chat. Didn't get him. Sam Bennett. I think Willie Nylander could push 60 points this year. Didn't get him. That is very unfortunate that I was not able to get the player that I wanted. Very sad panda here. I'm going way down the list here, kind of thing. That really irks me. I don't think I don't think I was gonna get both, which is kind of unfortunate. Let me take a look here. Nick Backstrom, not really worried. I got some time here. Let me research one player. Not great. Not gonna lie, not great. Man. I don't know how I feel about this, but I mean, there's definitely some value there. I think something good can come out of it. If I want to go down that route or not, I'm gonna go with Sean Couturier here. I mean, the Flyers need somebody to do something, right? And Couturier doesn't necessarily throw his weight around, but you know, they lost Jakub Voracek, but the rest of that team around him is still pretty good. So he's the only dedicated. I like how they put him on the bench. He's the only dedicated center. Brian Rust was the other one. That's who I was researching. The Penguins look terrible without Malkin and Crosby in the lineup, so I kind of don't want to touch that. Not right off the bat here. You know, Couturier can do what he needs to do to get the job done. He's going to play in all senses of the ice, right? He's going to play offensively, defensively. I think there's enough skill set around them. I expect that team to be better than they were last season. Tom Wilson on my no draft list, but you know, it is what it is. A lot of good things there. A lot of good things. So I think there's some upside there. We'll see how it goes. Jonathan Marchessault, another good one. There's a lot of good players down the list here. Kenzie Blackwood, Thomas Chabot, another good pick. Patrick Laine, that's who I was looking at. Grant, you've done your homework. Well done. Teuvo Teravainen. Patrick Laine would have been the other player I was looking for. High upside player, getting away from John Tortorella. The ability to shoot the puck. Lots of shots on goal. Things that you want to target. You know, you look for them. Mackenzie Weegar, good pick there on defense. I'm starting to realize some people are on the same brain path as me, which is kind of nice. I don't know where I want to go here, though, a little bit. Well, I kind of do, kind of don't. Jeff Petrie, another good pick. He's going to have the net to himself. Philip Forsberg, another good one there. I can live with that. I know maybe a little bit as to where I want to go with these next two picks here. We'll see if any of that works out or not. We'll see if any of that works on. I really wanted, had I had Nylander and Line on my team, that kind of would have been the high upside I was looking for. A lot of boom or bust, but definitely some good stuff there. Ryan Ellis, I guess we'll see what he brings to the table, where he plays on the power play or not. It's a cluster for the back end of the Flyers, but we'll see what happens. Evgeny Malkin, I mean, he had to go at some point, right? If you're willing to take the two months off that he's got to, and then stash him on the IR, you'll be fine, I guess. You can live with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I got to make another two picks here. I got to start thinking about where I want to run with this kind of thing. Kevin Fiala was who I wanted there too. All right, now I'm starting to get picked on here. Kevin Fiala was who I was looking at as well. That's unfortunate. Another player with high upside, lots of shots on goal. Kind of the value that you're looking for that you're not going to get. All right. I think I got to go around the board here a little bit. See what I can get. Mike Smith. Oh my god. Mike Smith. I might just draft a third goalie here. I'm going to take Alex Nedeljkovic. I know he's going to play in Detroit, but another case of a good goalie just on a bad team. So I'll take Alex Nedeljkovic here while I wait for my next pick. Like I said, I wanted to have 3 goalies. I have 3, so that kind of solidifies what I'm looking for there. So I'm not necessarily disappointed with taking him at that spot. Let me see. Sam Girard, Ryan Strome. Lots of good picks there. Lots of good picks. I think I know where I want to go here and then where I want to go next again. Ivan Provorov, good pick. Still lots of value down the board. Lots of value down the board. You'll be able to get a lot of these players for free kind of thing. Vince Dunn, good pick here. I think I can add the player that I want to add here, and then I know where I want to go a little bit later on in the draft. Oliver Ekman Larson here. I'm going to take Jack Hughes. I think he's not going to throw his weight around. I think the Devils are going to be a little bit improved. Jack's the best player on the team. The addition of Thomas Tatar kind of helps them out. The addition of Dougie Hamilton gives them that. So the power play points might be there. But the upside is not there right now, right? At 50 some odd points, it's not there. Can he get to 60? It's kind of hard, but we'll see. But I'll take, he's got dual position eligibility, which I like, so I'll take Jack Hughes here. Kind of sit on that value. Again, lots of players who can play the left side, who can play the right side. I'll be more than okay with what's happening there. So I'll live with that. Let me take a look here. Alec Martinez. If only block shots counted. If only. Okay. I know where I'm going to go with both picks that I have now. Let's just see if I can get them. Mikhail Sergachev. Someone told me he was going to shoot more this year. I don't believe it. Alrighty. Yes. All right. I know where I wanted to go. I was thinking about this player earlier. It didn't happen just because I thought I could get some value maybe a little bit later on, but I think I can get there now. I think I can get to where I need to get to with this player. So we'll see if I get the opportunity. The upside is going to be challenging, but we'll see. We'll see if it happens or not. He's still got a ways to go to get to me, so I may not get him here. The second player that I want to get, I think I'll be able to get him where I want to. Like I said, I'm not necessarily worried about Jack Hughes. Joe Pavelski is who I'm thinking about. I mean, I am getting absolutely wrecked here in the thought process. That's who I wanted. The high upside. Dallas's top 6 seems pretty solidified if they move Jamie Benn into it. So I think people are just looking at the board now, seeing players with high totals and starting to grab. I don't know if 60's in his name, but I thought he could be 55 easy bank there, playing center on the top power play. And I am getting dunked on here. I'm getting dunked on. I had to find some more value here, I guess. We'll see what I can grab here. I got a couple of options here. The players who I might want to grab. Ryan Pallot, great pick there. Jonathan Taves. We'll see how that goes. I'm excited to see what happens to Jonathan Taves. Matt Dumba, Jared Spurgeon, back-to-back Minnesota defense. Gotcha. Not sure which was better between the two, but I guess you don't have to worry about it when they go 1-2 in the back. One had one, the other had the other. Okay. I don't know where I want to go with this next one. I mean, I know where. I'm just not sure how I get there. Jacob Markstrom at 149. Really good pick. Mark Giordano at 150. New Seattle Kraken captain. First in their history, Mark Giordano. Good for him. Good for Gio. He's now been captain of back-to-back teams. He was captain of the Calgary Flames. Now he's captain of the Seattle Kraken. Not every day you move to another team in an expansion draft and end up being captain. Tony DeAngelo, 151. Interesting to see what he does in Carolina. All right, I need Sailboat here to not take the player I want to take. That'd be kind of cool if he didn't, you know? I mean, I feel like he's just reading my mind now. That's 3 picks that Sailboat has taken from me. I was thinking about Brent Burns as a 5th defenseman. That's obviously not gonna happen now. All right, now I'm gonna take Pavel Buchnevich. Pavel Buchnevich was right, he's moving over to St. Louis here. I don't know what we're gonna see out of him. I think the totals are kind of low. I'm taking a look here. It's early in the year though for St. Louis. I don't see him on the power play really yet, which kind of hurts maybe some of the value that he has, but I think St. Louis is a good enough team to get it done. So I'll take Pavel Buchnevich here, and I'm just going to hope that I mean, Sailboat can't take the next player I want, so that's kind of cool. That's 3 picks that he's taken off me. That's wild. Pavel Buchnevich, like I said, the top. I'm looking for players with top power play value. I know he doesn't have it, but I think St. Louis overall as a team they have improved. A healthy Tarasenko, the addition of a better overall team, I can live with. So I'll be okay with that. Eric Carlson at 157, another good one there. Not really worried about that. Still a ton of value left in this draft. It's crazy. 16 rounds is like leaves a whole bunch of players on there. Devin Taves is there. I'm going to take Oliver Bjorkstrand here. I didn't get Patrick Laine. I guess I can get a consolation prize for Oliver Bjorkstrand. I think moving away from John Tortorella is going to help him. Same thing. A player as of right now is not seeing top power play minutes. He may not. I don't know what we're going to get, but I'm just hoping that moving away from John Tortorella's system gets him to be the player that he needs to be. The part I'm looking at here, they haven't projected for 208 shots. I think he can actually hit more than that. So again, a player who takes a lot of shots is, a player that I want to kind of keep here, and I do think he can hit that value. So I'll take Oliver Bjorkstrand here, and I'll be more than satisfied with that. I have 2 picks left, so looking at 2 picks left, I'm probably not going to add a defenseman, just because I think there's more than enough value kind of lying around for defensemen. I really want to maximize some more of my forwards here since I don't have a ton. Right, there's still a ton of players that you can get here late in the draft as well. So I think they'll be okay there. Let me just go down the list here. I know what I'm looking for. There's lots of good players that are there as well. A lot of good players. Let me take a look here. I'm going through some of the lines just to make sure I, not sure where I want to go with this. Rasmus Dahlin, great pick there, by the way. Anders Lee, another good pick. I know where I want to kind of turn with these forwards. I know where I want to go with it. We'll see. We'll see. There's still, like I said, there's still a ton of value left as well in goalies. There's a lot of good players left on the board. This is a pretty shallow 12-team draft. Which I guess is not terrible. You'll be able to, I guess there's no need to go super deep on a rookie either. Since there's more than enough here. The need maybe to carry a third goalie isn't as important, but I wanted to make sure that I got the player that I wanted out of it. So I'll be okay with that. Jacob Trouba here. A lot of people trying to fill out their defense spot. Pierre-Luc Dubois, I guess a bounce back candidate if you want to believe that he can do what he needs to do. You know, it is what it is there, right? Connor Garland is going to be good. I know there's so many good picks here. I know where I'm going a little bit ish. I've gone around the table here a little bit, so I know what I'm looking for. Again, I need players who are going to shoot the puck a lot. Jake Muzzin, good pick. Like I said, the defensemen that are left, I don't need to go this far. Kirby Doc. See where he fits in with Chicago, but Chicago should have a better team. Josh Anderson, player who throws a lot of hits. Big boy throws a lot of hits. That's kind of, it's not a bad thing to have on the team either. Player who throws his weight around. Vincent Trocheck, great player. Great pickup. I can't believe he's still here. Brandon Tanev. You can see a lot of owners now trying to fill out the lineup with hits. For me, that's not a category I'm going to focus on. I mean, you've seen most of my team here. There's, not a lot of players who throw their weight around, and I'm not going to worry about that now. Sergei Bobrovsky, I mean, at this point, he's free, right? So there's nothing wrong with taking a risk on him here. If he can bounce back, then you'll be okay. It's just not where I would go with it. I wouldn't run with Sergei Bobrovsky. I don't want anything to do with him at this particular moment. Carter Verhaeghe, nice pick. All right, Sailboat, let's not take my player, okay? Let's not get sniped in the 15th round here. Let's let me get who I want here. Patrick Hornville is not the player I wanted. I'm going to take Dylan Larkin, man. I mean, again, I know the Detroit Red Wings are bad, but, a healthy Dylan Larkin, a team that's gotten maybe a little bit better on paper. He's going to shoot the puck a lot, play the top power play. The opportunity is going to be there for him. I like good players on bad team. It means they're going to play a lot, upwards maybe of 18 to 19, maybe hit 20 minutes. So I'll take Dylan Larkin at this spot as a centerman to kind of, complete what I got as well. I'll live with that. That's something I can live with at that spot. I'm not too worried about that. So I'll be okay with that. I'm going to go down here a little bit. There's one player. There's two players. I'll probably get one or the other. I'll just kind of go through it here. Matt Grzelcyk is a good pick there. Nothing wrong with that. Matt Grzelcyk could end up being the top defenseman for the Boston Bruins. Could easily be the top pick for the Boston Bruins. Radko Gudas, focusing on hits late. Those are the type of players who make teams where hits count. And for me, that's not something I'm worried about. A lot of good defensemen still left that are just going to get kind of forgotten because, nobody's necessarily drafting them, which is okay. So many good players still left. Anthony Mantha, great pick, man. I can't believe he's made it this far. He's a good player. I think there are still so many good choices left here before getting to him. And there still are. There's so many good choices. And Mantha is a really good pick. All right. I got a couple more here until I get to where I want to go. Late in the draft, a lot of people just looking for some value here. Claude Geru, not a bad pick. Doesn't shoot the puck a ton, but, you know, he's going to collect his points. Anton Hudobin, 182nd, probably the starting goalie for Dallas. You're getting him on the turn of round 16, though. Not bad. Not bad at all. That's a really good pick. At this part, like at this point in the game, great pick. Ton of value there. All right. I know where I'm going with this. Keith Yandel doesn't interest me. I'm going to draft Timo Meier. I know the San Jose Sharks are garbage, but I mean, Timo Meier shoots the puck a lot. I mean, San Jose's power play is going to be a heavy stack of the 5 best players, I assume. I think the 225 shots is kind of elevated. I don't know if he can hit it. It'd be nice if he could. San Jose's a dumpster fire hockey team, so they're going to be playing a lot of catch-up hockey, which means Timo Meier's going to be on the ice a lot. He also has, I think, can he hit 100 and some odd hits? I think it's up there, but adding a player who could maybe push 55 plus points, I don't think he hits 60. I just think it's unrealistic for any San Jose player to get to that number, but I think Timo Meier is a player, you know, he's got dual position eligibility as well, which definitely helps me out here and giving me some, you know, some roster flexibility here. So that completes my draft here. We'll see how the rest of this draft goes out. Brett Pesce here at 185 is okay. Philip Hronek at 186. Not terrible. Denis Gurianov, good pick here. If he can stick in the top 6 for Dallas, he's okay. Another good pick there. The pick I was looking at, honestly, was between him and Logan Couture. I just didn't want to go down another centerman. I just didn't want to go down the center route. I have a ton of players who can play center, and I wanted a player with dual position eligibility who could complete it. Again, there's still so many good players left. There's a ton of good players here. Ty Smith, great pick. As he should there. Blake Coleman is there. Tim Stutzel, another good pick here late. John Gibson on the 191, a third goalie. Not bad at all, Grange. Well done. Adding another goalie to the repertoire. Good goalie, bad team. It didn't show me who the last pick was. But I'm not really worried about that. All right, so my team shows up to be somewhat like this. So Nick Suzuki, Blake Wheeler, Max Pachuretti, Jack Hughes, Pavel Buchnevich, Oliver Bjorkstrand, Cale Makar, Aaron Ekblad, Tyson Berry, Jacob Chikrin, Sean Couturier, Dylan Larkin, Timo Meier, and then in goal, Robin Leonard, Calvin Pettersson, Alex Nedeljkovic. Overall, I think this is a pretty solid draft. There's some opportunities that I missed. I would have liked to have players like Patrick Laine, Willie Nylander over, let's say, Buchnevich and Bjorkstrand. Didn't happen. Didn't go down that route. But as you can see, I targeted players with, you know, an elevated amount of shots, right? I'm looking for players who shoot the puck a ton. Even my defensemen, you know, if I can get defensemen touching 200 some odd shots, that's what I want. I want defensemen who shoot the puck. I want players who shoot the puck, because it's going to lead to stuff. It's going to lead to points. It's going to lead to things happening. Power play points, you know, not a ton there. I think I lacked a little bit in that category. The points, I'll be fine. I think I'll be able to get to where I need to get. Goaltending-wise, I think I have the second best goalie in the NHL on my team. Calvin Pettersson, again, a good goalie, decent team, weak division, can definitely help it out. And Alex Nedeljkovic, like I said, we'll see how it starts, where it goes. I think a little bit of a reach here. I wanted a third goalie. I think he can be good. I don't know how good Detroit's going to be, but I know Nedeljkovic is a good goalie. He's moving away from Carolina. and it is what it is. But I'm not necessarily worried about that. I mean, they have Nedeljkovic and Pedersen on the same board for the same amount of wins, actually. Right? I reached on Calvin Pedersen. I'll say that out loud. Yes, but I think there's some value there, and I think we'll see less of Jonathan Quick. And just because that division, like I said, is so weak, I think the LA Kings could be a decent team. I think they can get out of this somewhat unscathed. So we'll see how that happens. All right. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for being here. If you're not already subbed to the YouTube channel, go ahead and do so. You got time. Like I said, man, big love to all of you for joining me. Thank you very much. These videos get a lot of hits on YouTube as well. A lot of people like to watch them back. I enjoy that you like to watch them as well. There's a lot of good value in it. So thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching. Like I said, hit the sub button if you're already. Ring the bell so you can get all the NHL content here. The Warzone stuff as well. Well done, buddy. Well done to you, Grinch. Your team was pretty good, actually. Well done. You listened. Would you rather Swayman or Holtby as a third goalie? My G1 and G2 are Vazzy and Gibson. Man. That's a good question, actually. I would prefer, as a third goalie, I would prefer Swayman. The only reason why is I'm not. Here's the only worry for Swayman for me. The only worry is Tuukka Rask, whether he comes back or not. If he does, then obviously Swayman gets pushed out because Linus Ullmark becomes the second guy. But I mean, Braden Holtby is really bad at his job, right? Like he couldn't keep his job out in Vancouver. He's come into a situation in Dallas where, like, I don't think he's gonna get better. I know the Vancouver Canucks were bad defensively. I know that Dallas has gotten better, so that would lead me to say maybe, you know, Braden Holtby will offer better per se. Not like he'll win games, right? If wins is a category that matters, then maybe I'd go that way. But I mean, Swayman was really good last season. If he doesn't, and we saw, right, like Linus Ullmark had preseason is preseason. So he had a tough preseason, which means maybe Swayman, maybe we get a 60-40 split, assuming Tuukka Rask never comes back. And I think Swayman can get away with it. That's the only, I'd much rather take a good goalie than try to bet on a bad goalie being on a good team, you know? Like Braden Holtby is like a Martin Jones, right? And or a Freddie Anderson, and I don't want to go down that, right? Let's forget about Ben Bishop. Ben Bishop is like his body's falling apart. But I would lean Swayman, understanding the risk that Tuukka Rask could literally put him out of a job. As a third goalie, I mean, your top goalie is good. Vasilevsky is the top dog, so I think that is good. Gibson is, I guess, again, good goalie on a bad team. So I think there's the upside that you need is Swayman, right? If your second goalie wasn't Gibson, then maybe I'd say, okay, you know, if you had a really solid second goalie, then I'd say, okay, maybe you take a risk on Braden Holtby or whatnot, and you kind of see how that turns. But in this position, because Gibson, I think, is more of a, again, good goalie, bad team, weak division, maybe they get away from it. I don't know how much better the Anaheim Ducks will be this year than they were last year, but I would lean Swayman. That's where I would go with. Again, I didn't want to take Linus Ullmark earlier, right? I saw, not that he struggled, but, you know, the conversation behind, you know, is Tuukka Rask going to come back or not after surgery? If he does, then that automatically pushes one of those goalies out of a job, and then you have no backup, right? So I think you need the upside in that case because John Gibson's the second one. And I mean, look, Braden Holtby will be on the waiver wire for a bit. So I wouldn't carry 4 goalies unless you're in a really deep league, which I don't think is the case. If you got Swayman and Holtby still on the wire, I think you're in more like a shallow league like I just did here. I would take Swayman and just ride the risk at that point. And if you can improve at the goaltending position via trade during the season, I'd probably look to do that instead. Like, let's say Swayman gets off to a decent start, right? Let's say Allmark struggles. Swayman gets a couple wins here and there. The Bruins look okay. 50-50 split. Swayman, again, thinking high bar here. And you can trade him in a package to get a better goalie in return. That would be like ideal situation. But I would take Swayman there. That's where I would hold it. I like your team. I think my team is exactly what it should be. High upside on defense. That's not usually the way I go, but that's how I wanted to do this draft. I think I achieved the result that I was looking for here, which was targeting, you know, high upside defensemen. You know, up front, I got players who, again, shoot the puck a lot, so I need them to now score goals and pick up assists, right? Goaltending wise, I wanted to put myself in a good position. Like I said, we'll see what Calvin Pettersson does. But yeah, that is it for me. I have completed the drafts that I wanted to do. Again, if you are not subscribed over to the Fantasy Alarm, let me change this back here. Right, you go over here, fantasyalarm.com, get yourself a subscription. If you still have a draft, I put together the injury report today, right, which is a paid member feature as well. If you need an ultimate cheat sheet, if you need preseason rankings, you can listen to the NHL podcast with Andrew Dewhurst and I. There are lots of great tools here. I think you can get the cheat sheet. If you still have a draft, some people still have drafts coming up, by the way. Like, I know the season starts Tuesday, man. Just sub, man. Much love, bro. Thanks for hitting the sub button. Take it easy, buddy. Thanks for hanging out with me, Grinch, as well. Always a pleasure, man. GG's, good job. Like I said, if you need a draft guide again, because you still have a draft coming up here, the draft guide is still there. You can sign up for all the tools over at fantasyalarm.com. All your DFS season-long needs, make sure you go ahead and do so. If you haven't followed me on Twitter at FuzzyChris91, I'm also the host of Slapshot Podcast. You can find the podcast on Twitter as well at Slapshot Podcast. Okay. You can find the podcast on Spotify. It's on Podbean. It's on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher. It's on the YouTube channel here as well. It's got its own section. You can listen to the podcast as well via YouTube. Yeah, just make sure to hit the sub button everywhere. Go and check it out. If you have any questions during this year, you need some advice with your fantasy team, Twitter is the best spot to find me. Make sure you do so. But yeah, I love you. Thanks for hanging out with me. And yeah, get ready for hockey. It's here.